A diplomatic storm has erupted across the Atlantic after US President Donald Trump voiced sharp disappointment with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer for initially blocking American forces from striking Iran from British bases. In a fiery interview, Trump blasted the Prime Minister, saying he took far too long to authorize access to strategic locations, including Diego Garcia in the Chagos Islands and RAF Fairford, intensifying already volatile US-UK military coordination. The comments have sent shockwaves through diplomatic circles, igniting fears of strained transatlantic ties at a critical moment of Middle East conflict. "That's probably never happened between our countries before," Trump said, suggesting Starmer hesitated over legal concerns. The public rebuke has laid bare rare tensions in the so-called special relationship at a moment of escalating war in the Middle East. Downing Street had originally denied US permission, citing international law, but as Iranian missiles and drones rained down across the region and a British RAF base in Cyprus was struck by a one-way attack drone, Starmer reversed course. On Sunday night, he authorized the US to use British bases for what he called specific and limited defensive purposes, aimed at destroying Iranian missile capabilities at source. He insisted the move was rooted in collective self-defense and designed to protect British lives, stressing that the UK would not join offensive action. The decision came just hours after a drone slammed into the runway at RAF Akrotiri in Cyprus, triggering sirens and scrambling aircraft into the night sky. Though damage was described as minimal and no casualties were reported, families of service personnel were swiftly relocated as a precaution. Cyprus's leadership went on full alert. It was the first direct strike on the base in decades, a stark signal that the widening conflict was no longer confined to distant battlefields. Iran's retaliation followed a dramatic US-Israeli offensive that reportedly killed Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei and dismantled large parts of Tehran's military leadership within 48 hours. American and Israeli forces have since targeted missile launchers, naval assets, and key military infrastructure, claiming to be well ahead of schedule in a campaign initially projected to last 4 weeks. Trump signaled that Iran's interim leaders now want a deal, saying, "They want to make a deal badly. I said you should have made it a week ago." Pressure is mounting at home as Britain grapples with the fallout of escalating US-Iran operations. Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch accused the government of dithering while allies faced fire. Liberal Democrat leader Sir Ed Davey demanded urgent parliamentary scrutiny, warning the UK must not be complicit in unlawful military action. Reform UK's Nigel Farage weighed in, calling the decision better late than never and branding Starmer a follower, not a leader. Meanwhile, the Green Party decried the move, saying it drags Britain closer to another Middle East war. With hundreds of thousands of Britons stranded across the Gulf, evacuation plans in motion, and the spectre of conflict looming, Britain teeters on a knife edge, caught between alliance loyalty, legal caution, and the terrifying possibility of a war spiraling far beyond its initial flashpoint.
Iran hits Europe. For the first time since tensions between Iran and the West spiraled into open confrontation, Tehran's reach appears to have struck European soil. Overnight, powerful explosions tore through the skies above RAF Akrotiri in Cyprus, a critical Royal Air Force base hosting around 2,000 British personnel and their families. British officials believe an Iranian drone hit the base just hours after Tehran launched 2 ballistic missiles toward the island. Those missiles fell harmlessly into the sea, but the message was unmistakable. Shortly before midnight, a security threat was declared. Moments later, detonations echoed across the Mediterranean airfield. Cypriot authorities confirmed limited damage. No casualties were reported, but thousands of service members and their families were ordered to shelter in place. They had been warned. Personnel were told to stay indoors, avoid windows, and take cover beneath solid furniture as Royal Air Force jets scrambled into the night sky to defend the base.
Over the last 2 days, Iran has launched sustained attacks across the region at countries who did not attack them. They've hit airports and hotels where British citizens are staying. This is clearly a dangerous situation. We have at least 200,000 British citizens in the region, residents, families on holiday, and those in transit. I ask all our people in the region to please register your presence and follow Foreign Office travel advice. I know this is a deeply worrying time, and we will continue to do all we can to support you. Our armed forces, who are located across the region, are also being put at risk by Iran's actions. Yesterday, Iran hit a military base in Bahrain, narrowly missing British personnel. The death of the supreme leader will not stop Iran from launching these strikes. Their approach is becoming even more reckless and more dangerous to civilians.
Iran had already fired 2 missiles toward Cyprus earlier on Sunday, according to Defense Secretary John Healey. Officials initially said they could not confirm whether British bases were the intended targets. Now the calculus appears to have changed.
The concern now, of course, is that this regime is lashing out. It's lashing out in an increasingly indiscriminate and widespread way. And people will be really concerned that it's not just military targets, but civilian airports like Kuwait, hotels in Dubai and Bahrain are being hit. And so that's why we've strengthened the UK defences in the region.
RAF Akrotiri is no ordinary installation. The base supports British forces stationed in Cyprus and serves as a forward operating hub for missions across the Middle East. Its strategic location makes it central to Britain's regional military posture. London insists it has not taken part in joint Israeli-US strikes on Iran, but British fighter jets did shoot down an Iranian drone heading toward Qatar just a day earlier. That interception may have placed Britain squarely in Tehran's crosshairs. The strike also intensifies pressure on Prime Minister Starmer, who has sought to distance the United Kingdom from direct involvement in attacks on Iran.